Yo, what is good, YouTube? What's going on? So, right off the rip, if you guys seen my last video, which I hope you did, if you haven't, subscribe to the channel. I know, 8 seconds into the video, what's this guy talking about? Well, look, man, if you watched the last episode on the build series of the LOY Duramax, you would know that we did the turbo inlet, which is going to save your LOY Duramax. Realistically, any Duramax is going to benefit from one of those, but the LOY, super restrictive. If you guys want to watch that, go check out the last video. But if you guys didn't know, we did a super ghetto CCV reroute or PVC reroute, whatever you want to call it. Crankcase ventilation is what I like to go with, CCV. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today. So I'm going to show you guys how you can save some money doing this. And also it's going to be your best option in case of the turbo intake on your Duramax. So I'm gonna show you guys what I actually got here. As you guys know, or if you don't know, you can buy a whole bunch of kits online. They're like range from $100 to $150, and all it is hose, 5/8 hose to be specific, a T, a barbed T, and some replacement brackets, I guess you could call them. I don't really know what you want to call them, but they're the breathers, right? So if you guys don't know, PPE, one of the best companies, especially for your Duramaxes. They carry so many things for these things. They're just one of the bigger names in the Duramax world, that is for sure. So we got super nice quality name brand breathers or brackets or whatever you want to call those. And then we can get any sort of T. That doesn't really matter at all. This is 5/8 fuel line, but you can use literally any 5/8 line. It's just rubber. I'm gonna dig into all the packaging here and show you guys exactly what everything looks like in a second here, but 1, 2, 3 things costing me about $70. That is less than half of a lot of the kits that you can buy that are just all-inclusive. They come with everything that you want. Pretty much, this is the best bang for your buck, and on top of that, it's PPE stuff, so it's just super nice to have. So I'm gonna dig into these packages, show you guys what everything looks like, and show you guys exactly what we're gonna do. All right, so here's everything on my tailgate opened up. First things first, our breather ports. Beautiful billet aluminum with our sealer, and of course says PPE engraved on there, as it should. That is a flex, you want that. Our barb fitting, it's a barb fitting, not much to look at, it's just a brass fitting. And our 5/8 line / fuel line, whatever you want to call this. And of course, you're going to want to make sure that your barb fitting fits in there. Maybe one barb. Mine fits in there great. It's going to go all the way on. We're going to be good. So don't push that in there. It's going to be pretty hard to get out, and that's going to suck. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. I got 10 feet of fuel line here, so I definitely believe it's way more than enough. But what I'm going to do is open my hood and show you guys what I did for the ghetto version until I got all the parts in for this, and then I'm going to show you guys how to install it. All right, now we're looking on the engine bay. And of course, my truck's lifted, so take our dirt bike stand just so that we're not stressing getting up in the engine bay. Right off the rip, we're pretty much just going to be looking right into where turbo intake is. Now, normally, as you can see, it elbows off of this, goes into here, and of course the Amazon replacement has that spot for the CCV to go, but I don't want it to be in there, so I ran something just for now over to here. You can see that, which is not ideal at all, but it gets the job done for what we need, and we are going to do it the proper way this time. So super easy. First thing you're going to do, take off your intake, aftermarket or OEM. Still gonna have to take it off because you want to get down in there easily. And then over here, we're going to disattach the hot side of the intercooler piping. I should really get like a WC fab or something in there because it just ruins it, man. We get the Y bridge and the cold side pipe here, and then the hot side just looks like garbage. Also, our intake looks like garbage. We got to get rid of this thing, so hopefully we'll get something here soon. But right now we're focused on the CCV reroute. So I'm gonna get with you guys as soon as I take the intercooler pipe off, not completely off, but just move it a little bit so you can get some access back there. And then the intake, which is just 1 band, 2 band, you're done. So I'm gonna catch up with you guys as soon as I do that. All right, so since I'm right here, I wasn't gonna record this part, but since I'm here, I might as well do it. Plus I'm going to grab tools, so whatever. But yep, so intake is off clearly. Now, if you follow this line over, it's gonna go right here. It's gonna be a 10mm. That's all you gotta do to take that off. And then if you follow it to the same other side, it's gonna be a little harder to get, but underneath this wiring harness is another 10mm. All you do, unscrew it. And these are super hard lines, so you just pull and it pops right out. And then all we gotta do is carefully put our new ones in there, put the 10mm in there, and then run our lines. So all I had to do was take the turbo outlet, the compressor side, on the hot pipe. I just took this closer band off, popped it, move it to the side a little bit, and it's right there. Super easy, not much disassembly, and yeah, we're gonna be rocking and rolling here in a bit. So I'm gonna get this thing out, show you guys how I start routing it, and we're gonna be good to go. All right, I'm just gonna show you guys here. I have it routed up right here, all the way from this side over to here. And as you guys can see right there, there's my PPE stuff. Routing out to right here. This is exactly where I'm gonna put my brass tee. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but this AC line is gonna hold it up off of the hot side of the turbo there. So that's kind of what I'm going for. And then I'm gonna tee it off down to the frame, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly where I put it. So yeah, pretty simple, but I will catch up with you guys as soon as I put everything back together. I'm gonna show you guys exactly where I routed it, and yeah, we're gonna be golden. Just in case you guys didn't watch my last video, which is gonna be this bad boy, we replaced our turbo inlet mouthpiece, which is a huge upgrade on these LOY Duramaxes, but it also having this is a great example on why you should do the CCV reroute. Even if you don't have an LOI and you just have a Duramax, do the CCV reroute even if you're not doing this. I'm gonna show you guys exactly why. So we'll start out with this piece. This piece is not stock, obviously. This hose I added on there, inside there, just as a ghetto kind of reroute, just to, you know, not have it going into my brand new turbo inlet mouthpiece. But yeah, pretty much these sails are gonna wear out. Look at all the oil on here. Thankfully, my truck only has 120 something thousand miles on it, so my buildup isn't too bad. But if you go into the forums on Facebook or whatever, and you guys see the pictures people post of what this thing is, they just have turbo spewing out every possible spot on these trucks, which is no good. You don't want that anymore. So not only does it leak oil everywhere, like for example this, see how it's all wet right there? That's where the normal plug-in usually goes, and it's just coming right out, man. So no, not ideal at all. But not only that, if you start looking in here, which I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it is just filled with oil, man. You don't want that. You don't want any of that happening. So it goes right in there. This is where your turbo blades are. So it sits like this on your motor, and it feeds oil straight into your guys' turbo, which is not good. That means it's going to be pushed through the compressor housing, through the intercooler, and then back up into your motor. So not only are you going to be burning oil, but also it's going to fill your intercooler and all of your intercooler lines or hoses or pipes, whatever you want to call them, hot side, cold side, and the intercooler itself, fill it with turbo, which makes it less efficient, move less air, and it's just gunked up, man. You don't want all of this oil going where your turbo air is coming from, if that makes sense. It's just super restrictive, and it's never good. So the earlier you do these two upgrades, the faster that your motor is going to be running healthily, and the less amount of oil that's going to actually be in there. Also, I mean, you could get all new piping and a new intercooler if you want to be 100% certain that there's never going to be oil in there again. But if you guys just run the truck, especially if you run it a little hard, you're going to burn and push most of the important amount of oil out of the lines, pipes, and the intercooler. So needless to say, your truck's going to be a lot happier, a lot healthier after these upgrades. So that was my little tangent on that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to pick this video back up on our beautifully gloomy and cold day out here. But nonetheless, we've been running the CCV reroute for quite a while now, and I've had zero issues. It's a CCV reroute. All it is letting your motor breathe, really. Not performance wise, but you know, just relieving crankcase pressure. That's exactly what it's for. So anyways, I am pretty sure the last video I recorded, I was going to show you guys exactly where I routed it. So it's pretty simple. We got the intake back on, everything's going good. Supposed to be getting a sponsored intake here shortly, which is going to be sick. The LOI is going to be sounding absolutely fire, and we're going to have some more white in the engine bay, which is going to be super cool. So that'll be good. But other than that, if we just look in here, I don't know if I'm going to zoom in or not when I'm editing it, but right there is my brass tee, and it's this line right here. It goes underneath my heater core lines, and it goes wraps over here through my AC. I don't even know what that thing's called, but you know, it's part of the AC system. So I wrapped it, went down the fender well, down into here, went into this frame hole, and I really want to show you guys where I put it under the frame, but I don't really want to be soaked because it just got done raining, and you know, I have a rug that I work off of, so that's just beautiful, isn't it? All right, so we are underneath the truck now. And long story short, that hole is right here. It's hard to point, but right there, that's where that hole goes on the exterior of the frame. And then it just comes over to here where that opening is in the frame. and I just kind of tucked it behind one of my torsion bolts here. But if I ever want to access it, I pull it out, there it is. And I'm happy to see that there is not a bunch of oil coming out of there. That means minimal blow by. So the more oil you got coming out of there, the more blow by you got. Long story short, my man. So it's not the end of the world, but it is what it is. So pretty much I put it up here. This is our cross frame. I guess it's not the torsion frame, but it's, you know, it's kind of there. So I just kind of tucked it behind one of these bolts. Once again, hard to show you, but more or less extremely convenient. So that thing is just routed to the frame. It'll always be there, and if I ever want to monitor it or take a look at what's going on with it, say I want to check for blow by, I just want to plug that tube real quick, and you know, the rest is history, right? So with that being said, it's like a SEMA setup, man. I guess I could tuck it out of the frame a little better, like, you know, not have it doing that, but you know, not really a big deal. In the engine bay, it looks pretty clean. It looks pretty factory. I mean, obviously it's, you know, not the greatest thing in the world, but it's not horrible. So zero worries there. The only thing that you could be considerate of is your injector harness here. You have an injector plug-in right here, and you don't want that rubbing on those wires. So do your best to kind of just tuck it off of that. It's super close, but it's not really going to do any damage as long as it's not consistently rubbing on there. But you know, nothing to really worry about there. So pretty much that's going to be it for the CCV reroute. So now we're going to talk about updates on the Duramax, what's going to be next week, what's going to be the weeks after, you know, stuff like that. So right now we are currently receiving in the spacers for the rear end, which, if you guys can't tell, if you guys don't know anything about these trucks, which if you're watching this video, I'm sure you do, see how it's poking there? See how we have negative poke here? It doesn't even poke at all. So you need 2-inch spacers in the rear, or 1.5 inch if you have cranked keys, but we have a lift, so ours are out a little bit farther. So we're doing 2 inches in the rear. We're going to be taking the mud graps off, and we're going to be putting the forces on, so it's going to be super sick next week. So if you guys want to, stay tuned for that. Subscribe, drop a like, leave a comment about this video, whatever you guys want to do. Positive, negative, it doesn't really bother me. So long story short, we're finally going to be making this thing look super sick. We have Salt City Diesels on April 19th. As of recording, it is April 12th, so actually it might be the 13th. Anyways, it's next Saturday. It's the next week Saturday. So you guys will be seeing this video a week before we go there, and then the day after Salt City we are uploading the Forces video, and then Salt City Diesel video should be up. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to post the Salt City Diesel before or after the Forces video. Timeline wise, it should be the Forces video, but you know, when you go to an event, you kind of want to be the first guy to kind of post up on there. That's kind of how you're gonna get the most traction. So who knows? Can't promise nothing for next week, but what I will promise is that we're gonna be there. Not only that, we should have the truck looking much better. With that being said, hope to see you guys at Salt City Diesels. If you guys are new here and want to follow this truck, this is a 2005 LLY Duramax that we have here. It is ARP head studs, grade C gaskets, and it also makes like 28 pounds of boost, which is kind of absurd. So really the only reasonable explanation is having a Wicked wheel or something, like not necessarily that brand, but anyways, a turbo wheel in there. And then it's also tuned with the EFI Live. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff to this truck. We already got the Boost Auto stuff done to it. We got the paint match Boost Auto mirrors. We got the Boost Auto cab lights. We're going to be getting paint match headlights, tail lights. We're going to do the whole thing. We're going to try to paint correct this truck. We're going to do literally so much to this truck and just make it absolutely beautiful. 120,000 mile LLY Duramax. If you guys want to follow up the Don.87 on every single social media, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So like I said, if you guys are new here, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know how you guys are doing with your LLY Duramax. Let me know how I'm doing with my LLY Duramax. And with that being said, I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.